What is ruining most relationships nowadays? Thinking that you must always feel that intense feeling you feel at the beginning of a relationship, and that when it subsides you're not in love anymore. The constant grind of daily life. I have a fucking amazing marriage. But Jesus Christ, the daily 10 hours away from home and the stress is soul-sucking. Lack of self-awareness. Lack of accountability. Unwillingness to commit or communicate issues. And the belief that the grass is greener elsewhere. Lack of respect for one another. When you don't respect somebody, you don't even care to try. You're just there by inertia. Lack of communication. Selfishness. Lack of humility. Grass is greener mentality. Mental illness. So many things. But for me, my divorce was very much due to focusing on the end goal instead of the relationship. And not trusting myself and what I need. I've now realized how I went into all of my previous relationships thinking that success was getting married and having kids, not happiness. I'm flipping that as I get back to dating. Not nowadays, but always people not seeing or seeking to understand how their childhood impacts on their relationship patterns, and how prone we are as human beings to replicate past situations, especially unresolved ones. So we project a lot of our baggage onto our partner, then get frustrated when they don't resolve it for us. It helps so much to be aware of when and why you're doing this, so you can choose to do it differently. Edit if this comment resonated with you and you want to see this in action. I highly recommend the show Couples Therapy with Dr. Orna Guralnik. The enormous supply of human bodies online. Everything looks better and brighter than what you have in your hands. I think a big part of it is social media. People get addicted to the attention. They keep comparing what they have to a fake image of what others have. They're tempted more than ever before to be unfaithful as well. Nobody wants to put in the work. It's easier to just fuck around. No substance. People get together based on attraction and a lot of flirting. Eventually, once that fades, people realize they don't even like each other, get along, or have any things in common. Making a person an option, shelving them for later. Being emotionally unavailable. Using a partner for their wants and needs. Social media. Hookup culture. Giving up instead of communicating. Social media. People are not honest, that's why. Trust issues. Assuming something is done with malice when it is not. Sometimes people become so close or enmeshed, they believe they know the other person's intent and thoughts. Instead of asking for clarification, or instead of listening to one another and caring or showing empathy towards the other person, everything becomes an accusation. This becomes worse over time, as there are actual misunderstandings or mistakes that cause hurt. I think one of the biggest things, partially from my experience on Reddit, is that people aren't willing to work through trials and tribulations in the relationship. Some people run at the first sign that the relationship isn't flawless. Anyone looking for advice on here gets told to break up with their so anytime they look for advice on the relationship. I might get hate, but casual relationships ruined it for everyone because nobody says it up front if they want it casual and end up cheating, breaking up, scarring their exes. People don't talk about what they want, they just go with the flow until the eventual breakup. My horse blew up. Unwillingness to change and always thinking you're in the right and you're perfect as you are in. If someone says otherwise, they just can't handle you. Someone is a shitty, rude person who can't keep a long-term partner turns to don't worry, they just can't handle you. Social media. For one, makes it so easy to be unfaithful, and for two, it's always making people think there's better somewhere else. The illusion of having plenty of options. I read somewhere and stayed with me. Things are meant to be used. People are meant to be loved. One of the main problems of the world today is that we use people and love things. What's the biggest relationship killer today? I would say poor communication, social media obsession, or financial stress. Too much stress. Everybody's broke. Reddit's relationship advice. Unrealistic expectations. People these days are expected to be perfect. Not a single flaw. It's not just in romantic relationships but in acquaintances too. Any hint of a trait which could be red flagged is used as a crack to split relationships apart. In the olden days it was a bit more accepted that people were just a bundle of flaws loosely held together with baling twine. Now we all have to be golden flawless gods with zero unacceptable opinions or behaviors. It's totally unrealistic. Cheating. Lack and abuse of trust, incompatibility and lack of understanding other. That is ruining relationship. Mobile phones. Staring at them rather than proper conversations that include body language. The abundance of options, attention from social media. Everyone wants to only date the most attractive people and the rest are left alone. Cheating has become the norm. Everyone is scarred from their previous relationships and lets those affect their future ones. Unresolved intergenerational trauma. Our throwaway mindset these days. Something's broken? Fixing seems like hassle, I'll get a new one. Hookup culture, porn and selfishness. Nothing is ever their fault and always yours. Writing each other off for human mistakes aside from abusive situations. OFC. Social media. Hookup culture. Lack of accountability, responsibility. Politics and a lack of balance. Unhealed trauma. Time. Capitalism has robbed us of time so much we don't even realize it. We have to work 9-10 hours often every day just to make a living and have some extra money. Or study 24/7 with the vague future of a job that will pay well enough. Basic things such as water or a home cost money. And way too much money. We spend all our time making this money and have often less than 2 hours to see friends or just have free time for ourselves. Many people can't afford to have a relationship because that would mean giving away more time and often that would literally make people homeless. Social media. Porn addiction. Pornography addictions. Cheating. Asking for an open relationship. Staying with people who don't respect you and it shows. Not handling rejection. Insecurity. Lying. Money. Either not having enough, or having too much. Money. Money ruins marriages, families, friendships, partnerships, dating, communities, hell, even relationships with pets. Lack of communication might slowly tear a marriage apart, but money issues can turn people against each other in as little as a few weeks. A few days even. Plenty of fish in the sea attitude coupled with entitlement. Inability to understand another's perspective. Huge egos. Most of what people are naming here are emo symptoms, not the cause. I think the NR.1 cause is too little time. We're all out here grinding 40 a week minimum. A lot of people work even more than that and we do not have enough time for ourselves, let alone for our relationships, to put in the required effort to have a stable relationship with your partner. Now thrown in some kids and there is even less time. And social media. But that is a cancer that does not only ruin our relationships but our image of ourselves. Our political discourse. Our inner reward systems and a bunch of other stuff.